Hey gang, Hammersill here. This was a very exciting game. You'll notice the red team has one division, the Hakuryu and the Daring. I didn't realize it going into this game, but those are exceptionally good players. The player that's captaining the Hakuryu, he has I think a 70% plus win rate in that ship, and the Daring captain is a 60 or 64% overall player. They're both phenomenal players. Now, I only mention that now to make some things that happened in the late part of the game a little more meaningful. Now, the Yueyang is new for me. I've only got a handful of games in the ship. I really like the Chungmu, and I know that the changes to detection of torpedoes are expected to be, well, essentially a big nerf for the Pan-Asian line, and I imagine also for the Asashio, which is really a shame. Asashio is, if not my favorite ship to play, one of my favorite ships to play, and I've really been enjoying the Pan-Asian line as well. Maybe Wargaming just want to stay away from consistent success with torpedoes, you know, and force more of a gunboat style of play, especially at higher tiers. I won't claim to know the answer, but I think it's a shame that the upcoming changes to torpedo detection are going to happen the way that they're going to happen, I guess, really is what it boils down to. So what am I doing here? I've decided, as I generally do, I'm going to go ahead and try and contest the cap, at least keep the enemy team from getting the cap. I don't want to push too far in, because as you see, there's a Moskva on the enemy team, and I don't want to get radared. You can see the enemy planes are at the Bravo cap, harassing our Shimakaze. So I should be okay here for a little bit, but I don't want to get, because what is it, 11.4 kilometer range on the radar for the Moskva? It's a long range. Anyway, here comes Harugumo and Minotaur, and I know at this point that if they start looking like they're going to push around this corner, I'm going to have to smoke and run. And if those planes that are at the Bravo cap come this way, I'm going to have to smoke. Now what am I doing here? I know there's a Yamato and a Hindenburg out there. I don't know what they're going to do, but I wanted to block that lane. There's also a Minotaur back there. If he decided to cross and try and escape, I wanted to make sure that it was painful for him to do that. None of these torpedoes may strike anything, and in fact, my guess is Harugumo will spot them.
Engine boost activated.
And that'll be that. Now, Harugumo can't really see me, but I went ahead and smoked up anyway. And I'm just going to try and farm a little bit of damage. Every little bit of damage, every little chip shot that you can do from safety can make a big difference later in the game. So that's why I did that. And on this line of ships, you have a lot of smokes, so you can generally afford to use them for things like that. A little bit more than you could in most of the other destroyer lines. Now, at this point, I decided I'm going to go ahead and leave the cap. Not because I intend to bail on it entirely, but because Harugumo smoked up, and he could be sending torpedoes into my smoke. So I just don't want to be sitting there when those torpedoes arrive, if he does in fact have them available to throw out at me. Now, I thought about going toward the Puerto Rico and the Ohio and the Hindenburg, but I changed my mind and decided, and this is really close here, and decided I would rather stay on this side, because that frees me up to help at B. And I think we've already got enough ships at Charlie and Delta 10. At this point, I'm starting to think I might need to say something to those guys, so that's what I do. I think their positioning there is really bad. They're not really able to help. They're allowing themselves, in my opinion, to be kind of neutralized. And you see the Puerto Rico, he's moving. and he's trying to get angles. But the Ohio, yeah, I won't claim to know what's in his head. It just appears that he's being very ineffective. So I was hoping maybe they would cross center and be able to get guns on something.
Engine boost.
And here comes Harugumo, so I was going to try and spot for the Minotaur, but discretion being the better part of valor, I decided that instead I did not want to square off with Harugumo at close range in a gun battle. I'll count on the Minotaur to take care of himself, and I'm going to reposition, and if Harugumo's come this way, I'll be able to get some shots off, potentially, but I'll have an island to run behind, if nothing else. Now this is looking a little bit ugly. I mean, we're down 396 to 300, 402 to 300. We've got a lot of ships with a lot of damage. And we've got the enemy Minotaur and Hindenburg just about gone, but they've just about got our Yamato and our Puerto Rico. Our Shima's lost half his hit points. His Ao has lost almost half his hit points. So, a big thank you to our daring and Shimakaze, who did not give up on the Bravo cap and who managed to secure it. Now you look at the mini-map, there's no sign of the enemy CV, but you can see the enemy daring was last spotted at Foxtrot 4. And you see the Shima is pinging there, presumably because daring has pushed in there. Now we're down by what, well, 140 points. Nobody has lost a ship. So it's shaping up, despite the fact that we're down on points, shaping up to be a pretty good game, at least so I'm thinking at this particular time. Now, the Hindenburg is, well, he's a one-shot kill, so maybe one of us will get the first blood. But that remains to be seen. And there's the Moskva. Now, he's plenty far away, so I can, if I want, run south of this island unless he turns directly at me, but I don't think there's much chance of that. The big concern I had was whether or not I was going to get plane spotted, but that looks unlikely. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to push south. And position myself to spot torpedoes for the Minotaur and the Puerto Rico that are pushing into the Charlie Cap. Now we've had the Bravo Cap for a little while. Granted, we're probably not getting much in the way of points because I think the enemy daring is sitting in there contesting it. I moved over here to spot torpedoes from the Harugumo, and pretty sure it was our Minotaur. He just about torped me. I knew they were coming, and I adjusted to make sure they didn't hit me, but so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just putting myself between where the Harugumo smoke was and some friendlies, and Harugumo pops up. Put some shots out, but they're just too slow. But definitely Harugumo is a one-shot kill. Moskva goes down. Now I can afford to move around a little bit more, because the only thing I have to worry about now would be aircraft. There's that enemy daring I mentioned earlier. Now the red team is down 2 ships. They're still up 43 points. I'm going to just do some chip damage on the Grosavoy. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships in the Charlie Cap. Pretty sure they've got that handled. So I'm moving over to help at Bravo. And you can see that Bravo is in the process of being turned. That daring must be there. And we've got enemy aircraft here. And the enemy daring finishes off our friendly daring. So, for those who may have joined us late, that means that the enemy daring and the Hakuryu are coordinating. They are in a division, and that's to be expected. That is a very nasty combination. Have the daring. Can't say I've put a lot of games in the ship at this point. It's still relatively new to me. It's a fantastic ship. Now, right here, I'm realizing I'm really going to need to smoke up.
Smoke generator started.
I'll put a couple shots out there, but not much chance I'm going to hit anything. But if Hindi keeps pushing in, he might be able to hydro. It's really going to depend upon whether or not Savoy. I know I'm going to eat a torpedo here.
Engine boost deactivated.
I really just want to make sure I eat only one torpedo here. And I see Savoy is
Smoke screen
damaged, unable to get away. I'm able to finish him off.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Now I probably should have stayed at this end of my smoke, but if I'm being honest, I thought maybe the planes might target the center of this last puff of smoke. I was trying to avoid getting hit by that, and then I thought I could move forward again. Just didn't have time. It was a very well-timed drop, I think, by the Minotaur that threw those torpedoes at me. Here I'm just trying to do some area denial. My torps have decent range. Yamato's moving away, but on the off chance that somebody turns around and moves to help, I want them to meet my little friends. Now, Hakuryu he's coming for me, so at this point I'm just making speed for Thunderer, hoping for some help with AA. You can see that he's spotted me, and he is moving this way, but he's definitely going for Thunderer. It's not looking good for Thunderer. Now there's a lot of trading going on here. We finish off Hindenburg, or Shimakaze finishes off their Hindenburg. Our Thunderer finishes off their Harugumo. They've only got 5 ships left. And you can see that, well, we have considerably more than that. Now I have not done much of anything in terms of damage in this game. I have managed to shoot down a couple planes, and I've, detected a few things, but really, my contribution has not been great. You see our Ohio's comment there. I just don't think he played it well. No disrespect to the player, but he stayed on that flank, I think, way too long. Now you see, we're gonna lose B, but I don't have the hit points to stay in that same position because the Hakuryu knows that I was up there, and if he comes for me now, he could finish me. And if he's coordinating with the Daring, and the Daring were to push up this way, well, that would be it for me, and I want to make sure I can contribute for as long as possible in this game. Now that kind of relegates me to playing very cautiously, but I'm okay with that, because sometimes playing cautiously is the smart play. I have said to many ICOPs that I've divisioned with that I theorize that oftentimes when people aren't sure what to do, they push in. And I think sometimes, well, probably the majority of the time, that's a mistake. Now, there are times when pushing in is the right thing to do, but I don't think my having stayed where I was would have been a good idea. But right now I've got a Minotaur that's just south of me, so I would have at least a little bit of AA protection if I do push in here. So I'm going to go ahead. My smoke's up and ready.
Concentrate fire on the target.
And I'm going to see if I can't help secure this cap. We are still down on points, roughly 50 points. We lost our Zhao, and just like that, it's 5 ships to 6 ships. And you can see my ship is just about out of hit points. Puerto Rico is badly damaged. Our Hindenburg is badly damaged. These shells, they fall like snowflakes at this range, but I figure any little chip damage that I can do will help later in the game. So I'm tossing out some shells. Can't get spotted right now, so why not? Now I'm watching our Shima on the minimap. He got a little close to the Montana, and I'm trying to just do blind fire and hope that the Shima had some torps that could finish off the Monty, but That is not the case. The enemy daring, actually finished off our Shima. So now it is 5 ships to 5 ships. But we're only down by, what, 27 points. Again, I haven't done much of anything. I've done 8,100 damage.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
A little bit of spotting, I guess. Shot down a couple planes. Really, my contribution has been quite minimal. And I get detected, which means Montana knows I'm here. Planes are gone. What to do, what to do. I'm going to wait, see where he's headed. Now, I saw where the enemy Hakuryu's at.
Engine boost activated.
And I'm guessing some of our boys are going to put shells on him.
Smoke generator started.
But I've thrown torpedoes out. Granted, he's going to probably be dead long before they get there. And now I'm just going to smoke up and try and finish him off, or help finish him off. Even the chip damage that this destroyer can do helps.
Enemy battleship
So,
foundered.
yeah, 2 kills, but I did very little.
Concentrate fire on the enemy
Smoke screen
warship.
set.
And there goes Daring, pushing back up to contest the Bravo Cap. Now, I'm trying to put some damage on those torpedo bombers running in our Minotaur. But I have to turn off the AA and hope to remain unspotted as I push south toward the Cap. And down goes our Minotaur. It is now 3 ships to 3 ships. And our Cap lead
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
has helped us take a points lead. And that's just, points accumulated over time. And it adds up. Now, I know that the enemy CV is hunting for me. I know he's coming. And I got 47 seconds until I have smoke again. So the best I can hope for here is to minimize the amount of damage that I take. So I'm just going to wiggle as best I can. And then I see Midway, our Midway. He's pushing over this way. So if I can get close enough to him, his anti-aircraft will help. And it is. Now I don't want to push so far that the enemy daring can put me in his sights.
Engine boost deactivated.
But going right here,
Problem
I can
solved,
stay
sir.
unseen for just a sec. Sector reinforcement. In 2 seconds. Can I finish him off? Take a little bit more damage. I'm down to 1,700 hit points. Now he's just blind firing. I'm trying to accelerate forward. And can I get shells on him? Nope. The only turret I had facing his direction was the forward turret and hit the island. So here we are, 18 minutes and 15 seconds in. I've done 12,000 damage. But I'm in a position to make a difference. I'm noticing the enemy Hakuryu is pushing up. The Daring is sitting there putting shells on our
Smoke screen set.
Midway. And my guns are ready to go again. I'm going to angle, and I'm going to try and finish off this Daring while he's got his guns trained elsewhere. Now he was moving up, which was smart. And I'm finishing him before he can get his guns around. And I'm going to throw some torpedoes out there and hope that the Hakuryu can't slow down in time. There are a couple different ways to go here. If his secondaries get a hold of me, of course they'll tear me up, but either way. We're down to 48 seconds. Now notice that I do switch to AP eventually. And at this point I'll just tune out and let you finish watching. Thanks a lot for watching it with me, I really appreciate it. A lot of fun. And I'll see you next time.
Enemy aircraft carrier sunk.